And we back. Now, I dropped the video 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago. I don't even remember when it was. But I was ranking the tiers of every NBA starting point guard. Like it's been a trend that's been going on YouTube for a while now. And I took a little spin to it to make it NBA related. And here we are. I told y'all if y'all did well as far as liking the video on the first episode, I'll bring y'all starting shooting guards. Y'all absolutely killed it. It was one of my most viewed videos in the first 24 hours. So that tells me that y'all ready for part 2, which is the started shooting guards. I have to say this. These are all my personal opinions because the dislike button on the last video was kind of wild because apparently y'all didn't agree. And it's so weird that just because we disagree, you got to dislike the whole video. Grow up. All right. So here we are again with shooting guards. There are 5 different tiers. There's the S tier, which means that they're the God tier. They're the best of the best. There's A, B, C, and D. You look at it like your grades, you know. D obviously ain't that good, but you ain't failing. A C, you average. A B, you're above average. A, you're very, very good, but obviously the S tier is above all. So there's no F tier because in my mind, there's no F tier starting shooting guards. But then again, I'm looking at this list and maybe there are. Maybe there are. But we'll take it one at a time. Let's start off going side by side. I know last time I went all S tier, all A tier. I know we're going side by side, starting with Avery Bradley. In my mind, Avery Bradley is a D tier player. But they telling me I can't even put him D tier. I can't put him C tier. I can't. Hello? Okay, let me refresh. So, okay, they let me do it. He's a D tier player. So when he was a part of the Clippers early in the season, he was pretty bad. Offensively and defensively, which is saying something for Avery Bradley because I've always seen him as basically a 3-and-D guy. But then he was traded to Memphis where he started to pick things up. And it makes sense because Memphis is the grind house and Avery Bradley is a grinding player, a grinded player. By the end of the day, I'm not going to eliminate the first half of the season because in the second half he played okay. So he's a D-tier player for me right now. Then we have Bradley Beal. He is a A-tier shooting guard in my eyes. This season really opened me up to Avery Bradley because before this season, I would have probably put him here. But he showed me like, hey, I can be one of the guys. You know, he's obviously been an all-star before, but we've always seen him as a decent second option to John Wall. But he showed like even with John Wall not being there, I can still get my buckets. And I know the Wizards weren't good. The rest of that roster was terrible. But he was good. There was 2 months in a row where he shot 52% from the field. That is insane for A, for a guard, and B, for a guard of his caliber. Because if you're watching or you're playing against the Wizards, you should know, oh, Bradley Beal is going to take a lot of them shots, and he still shot 52%. I wish that they could build around him, but it's going to be hard to build around him. But he's an A tier. Bryn Forbes. Again, this is not a projection of a player's career. I'm not predicting next year, the year after that, based off what they've done so far. And so far, Bryn Forbes, I've seen as a D tier. Okay, he's good. Don't get me wrong. Again, there's no F tier players, but he's still young, and I don't think he's better than a lot of the people you're gonna see me put in the C tier. Speaking of the C tier, we're gonna put Buddy Hield there right now. He had a very good season. He should be in the conversation for most improved after scoring 20 points per game this year. But again, I don't see him as the all-star level player to put him like a B tier or obviously an A tier. I think that the Kings have something building there, and Buddy Hield's a big part of that. But right now, he's a C tier, which is still pretty good, okay? Then we have CJ. CJ is a B tier shooting guard. And what you're about to see from my B tier is that my B tier are players that are like borderline all-stars. CJ has been hooping. Damian Lillard has kind of struggled this second half, but CJ has been consistent. But again, if you take a look at all the other shooting guards, he's going to be fighting for a spot for the All-Star game. He may never get there. So because of that, he's a B tier. Very good. Again, B's good. B is good. Then we have Victor Oladipo. Victor Oladipo has been an A tier. And I wish he would have stayed healthy this year because I'm sure a lot of people would have him at B tier because we only got 20 games of him this year. But I'm still confident in him being an A tier. He's one of the best perimeter defenders. And not to mention, he took that Pacers team that was projected to not make the playoffs last year and made the playoffs and took LeBron to Game 7. He was an all-NBA player, all-NBA defender. I got to put him A tier. Then Devin Booker. Devin Booker's probably the more controversial one because I'm sure a lot of people will have him A tier. Listen, he averaged 26 points per game. He averaged like 6 rebounds and 6 boards or 6 rebounds and 6 assists. What more can you want from him? I need to see him be a part of a successful team. And I know it's not necessarily his fault that his team sucks, but you couldn't tell me that this year the team shouldn't have won more games than last year. You know? They made the trades, they made the signings, and they were like, hey, we're going to try to win this year, and they still ended up with about 20 wins. You know, it's not Devin Booker's fault, but I need him to win a little bit more for him to be an A tier. B tier, he's that, though. Damian Dotson, I'm putting him in the D tier. Still too early, for me at least. He's cool. He's cool. He can defend a little bit. He shows some flashes, but again, not a prediction video. Danny Green is an interesting one for me. I will revise. I'm going to put Danny Green in D tier at the moment. And I may put him at C tier by the end of this video, but I'm going to put him at D tier. He's one of the best three-point shooters in the league. He locks up on defense. So pardon me, I'm going to put him back at C tier. I'm going to put him at C tier, and I'll be back to him. I'll be back to him. Donovan Mitchell is also B tier. Again, these are players that are going to be borderline all-stars and maybe get some appearances here, but he led his team to the playoffs 2 years in a row. And that means something for a rookie and a sophomore player to be the #1 option on a playoff team. B tier. Dion Waiters is a D tier. I'm sorry, people that are part of Waiters Island. He's just not that for me. I know he averaged, 15 points per game per 36 or something like that. But again, a small sample size with him being so injured this season. Evan Fournier, I'm going to put him at C tier. Gary Harris is a C tier. He has been locking up defensively this series, and I like it. And then he's also providing the offense. In the first playoff series this year, he didn't really drop the offense, but this series he is. And I can easily see him becoming a B tier by next season, but again, not a prediction. Okay, have I said that enough? Okay, I won't say it again. Jaylen Brown, C tier. Good player. You'd have wanted him to take some steps. He's basically been the same player for the past 2 years, which is cool because he's still a very good defender, but you would want him to take steps, and he hasn't really done that, so C tier. Then we're going to have Jordan Clarkson. He's another one that's going to be interesting because Jordan Clarkson can score that peel, but the other aspects of basketball, he doesn't have it. So I'm going to put him at C tier because he can give you 15 a night. He can give you 15 a night. Jrue Holiday, B tier, another player that's an all-NBA defender. He's very good, but always going to be a borderline all-star because he's competing against Steph Curry. He's competing against James Harden. He's competing against all these guards in the Western Conference that's preventing him to becoming an all-star again because he was an all-star in Philly. James Harden is the S tier. Do I need to say more? He's probably going to be runner-up to MVP this year. He was the MVP last year, and he was the runner-up the year before. He has consistently been one of the better players in the NBA. He is an S tier, a superstar. Whether you like the way he plays or dislike the way he plays, you have to admit that that boy hoops, and he hoops well. Joe Harris. Joe Harris. I cannot skip Joe Harris and JJ Redick. I'm putting Jeremy Lamb into the C tier. I'm putting Josh Okogie at the D tier. Rookie player. Was okay. It's just okay. Same thing with Kevin Huerter. He hit some big shots. He knocks down the threes. But again, D-tier player, young. Who knows what he can be. Klay Thompson is an A-tier shooting guard. He's one of the best shooters we've ever seen. He's a very good perimeter defender. He's very smart. What more can you want from a player? I would love to see him, I don't want to say this, but love to see him come out and be a part of a different team so we can see more. There are glimpses of we can see Klay Thompson creating a shot, and it's never really been his thing. But if he's on another team, maybe he can start creating more. I don't know. Luka is a B tier. Kenny, how is he a B tier? He was a rookie. Look at his numbers, dude. What was he, 26-6 as a rookie? I'm taking Luka over everybody in that C tier and everybody in that D tier. Fight me if you want to. Lou Williams is a B tier, one of the biggest microwaves we have in the NBA right now. At 33 years old, we saw him in the playoffs just be like, hey, I still got it. I'm not a starter, but that's my choice because I can start on like 20 teams in the NBA, but I want to come off the bench and destroy opposing second units and be damn good at it. Then we're going to have Malcolm Brogdon. I see Malcolm Brogdon as a C tier player, but his impact is so big. He's a 50, 40, 90 person this year. And I can see the president getting to a B tier someday, but right now we got him at C tier. Reggie, D tier. Terrence, D tier. Wayne, D tier. And do I have to explain those? How many would you take? Would you take Ferguson over anybody in this tier? I doubt it. Would you take Wayne Ellison over anybody in this tier? I doubt it. Would you take Reggie? No. Zach LaVine is a B tier. Zach LaVine is a B tier. Look at the numbers. Him and Devin Booker are very similar with their numbers. So I don't understand how people can dislike Zach LaVine but like Devin Booker. They're similar. I like both. You can like both. It doesn't always have to be a collision of players. You can be a fan of both. Come on, man. So lastly, these two players are very interesting to me. Joe Harris was basically the best three-point shooter in the league after like Steph Curry and Danny Green. I think he ended up third. Below average defender. In the playoffs, he didn't do anything. So I'm putting him in a C tier. And the same thing with JJ Redick, I'm putting him in a C tier. Okay, so this is my list right now. I'm going to pause and try to do some revising. Maybe there's something I messed up on. I'll be right back. So the only thing I'm going to change, I'm going to make Bryn Forbes a C tier. That's my list. You can agree or you disagree, but regardless, I hope you did enjoy the video. Let me know in the comment section what you think. I got a lot of comments on the last video talking about the younger players because I put the younger players on lower tiers. I think people are trying to think about the future, you know? And right now we're not. Right now we're not. We taking players for what they are. And Luka had the best rookie season I've seen in a very long time. So he's a B tier. But the other younger guys played decent. But compared to their peers, maybe not that great. So that's it. Thank y'all so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leave it a like. You know, the more y'all like it, the more I'll drop the small forward, the power forward, the center. Okay, so I'm depending on y'all. All right, it's McKinney. Peace.